Hi, this is Natalie Morgan. I'm the Director of HR at CareerPlug. I wanted to talk a little bit about remote hiring. So CareerPlug is now 100% remote with the current health crisis, but we do have remote employees across the country, even though most of our team is based here in Austin. And those remote employees we hired completely remotely and ran that hiring process. So for businesses that are still hiring right now, looking for talent, wanting to get new people in the door, I wanted to share a little bit about how we've run a remote hiring process and hopefully give you some helpful tips as you do your own. So one, it is completely possible to run a hiring process remotely. The main thing is having your technology set up to do so. So video conference calls, they're your friend here, just as we're finding for normal remote work with our internal teams. So whether it's Zoom or Google Hangouts is a big one that we use here. Finding some kind of call that you can, log on, you still get that face-to-face. Remote hiring doesn't mean everything turns into a phone screen, right? Do that phone screen step as usual, but anything that would be in person, then do over video. So ahead of time, if you're doing a video call, first make sure your technology is set up, right? That you know how to use the platform, you check that your sound is on, your camera is on. Try to minimize those technical difficulties before you get in the interview. And then same as you're showing up to an in-person interview, right? You want to come prepared, you want to be professional, you're not showing up to an interview in your pajamas, even though you're comfortable working from home. And another thing to think about is minimizing distractions, right? Just as you wouldn't want to be taking your phone out at an in-person interview in the office, you don't want to have, Slack messages popping up, the internet browser up while you're on the video interview. Make sure you're focused on the person on the screen, just as if they were right in front of you. And then it's basically business as usual, right? You're asking the same questions, you're giving them time to ask questions, following up on next steps. Something to keep in mind right when the interview ends is, if you're like us, usually we sync right afterwards with the other interviewers who are speaking with the candidate to get their feedback, help us evaluate if we should move them forward in the hiring process. So either stay on the video call, so you can do that with interviewers after the candidate logs off, or get on a separate call to sync and get everyone's feedback. That's something, if it's happening organically in your office right now, you might have to be a little more intentional about, so you are getting all the data you need about the candidate from other people in the room, virtual room, so you can make a good hiring decision. So the last thing I want to talk about with remote hiring is the final stage of giving a candidate an offer. If you're like us at CareerPlug and like to give offers in person, we usually invite people into the office to talk through the offer package, really get their questions answered in person. How we do that remotely is just by giving them a video link instead, saying, hey, let's hop on a video call, and then at the start of that meeting, send over an email that has all the offer information, benefits package, everything we normally include in person, and then review it, face to face on the call instead. So we're mimicking that in-person interaction. So that's some of what we do to hire remotely. That's been really successful for us. So if you are still hiring right now, hopefully you can take some of these practices, learn from others, and keep iterating so we can become a stronger remote hiring workforce. So happy hiring.